Welcome, adventurers, to the next session of the official second chapter of our campaign. When last we left our heroes, they were in front of Rezax, the glorious port city where it all began. Our heroes now return, and they are hoping to set things straight, or make things worse. Bolin?
I don't know what you're talking about here. We are here to do the God's work.
Oh, definitely.
We are here to take the walls back.
You are approaching, right? You are approaching Rezax. You start walking through the outer parts of the city. You're walking through the commoners' houses. In the distance, you can see the walls that separate the nobility and the highborn from the common folk. And yeah, a lot of memories start returning, you know. As you're walking through the streets, you notice something odd. You notice Dragonkin wearing the guild colors and tabards of the Voidbreakers.
What? Oh, they recruited the Dragonkin. Interesting.
No.
Oh yes, and even better, you notice that some of the Voidbreakers, including both the new Dragonkin and former members, are accompanying the Rezax guard patrols on their patrols.
Oh.
You were my brother, Kylo.
I'm gonna go and maybe stop one of them to ask where is the guild headquarters.
Okay, you approach one.
I'm gonna approach.
Yeah, you approach one of the patrols. You stop them. Do you want to approach the patrol that has only Dragonkin, or do you want to approach the patrol that has Voidbreaker members that you would remember from before?
Yeah. The second.
Right. You approach them, and at first
I take off my helmet, so when I'm approaching.
Yeah. You take off your helmet. Well, I'm assuming most of you don't have their helmets.
I have my helmet.
You have your helmet, okay. But you're a dwarf. You approach them, and you stop them, and the human members of the Voidbreakers recognize you. They greet you. They say that they are surprised to see you so soon. They were expecting you. Grandmaster Kaldron has said that you will be arriving in Rezax, but they did not think that you would be arriving so soon.
Anyways, I wanted to ask you, where are your headquarters? Where can we find Kaldron?
Kaldron and the Voidbreakers have moved away from the Pillars of Zathronox and have been awarded the headquarters of the former headquarters of the Iron Bulls Mercenary Company. So that is where they are located now.
Okay.
Underneath the helmet, Bolin's veins.
Oh shit. Okay. Could you maybe just show me the direction where it is, or?
You remember from before that the Iron Bulls, former headquarters of the Iron Bulls Mercenary Company, are inside the highborn area of the town of Rezax.
Okay.
So you will need to go up the little hill and try and enter the area.
Okay. I see that you've been busy. I see that you have Dragonkin among your kin now.
Oh yes, one of the lads speaks. Yes, you see, Kaldron needed to bolster the ranks of the Voidbreakers here to increase our strength and presence. So he started recruiting some of the local populace.
Nice.
Prospective candidates amongst the Dragonkin were put through a series of trials, and those that passed them became recruits. And later on, we've actually kind of grouped the Dragonkin into a special subunit within the Voidbreakers themselves. They serve as our rangers.
I hope that our little escapade didn't cause you too much trouble.
Oh, you mean what happened 7 months ago?
Yeah.
You can see that they are hesitant to even talk about it, and the other guy just says, "You better talk to Keldrin about that. We will say nothing."
It's all water under the bridge.
Eager to move on, Bolden loses his patience and ends Arakal's conversation with the Voidbreaker patrol. The group initially thinks of going straight to the highborn area of Rezax, but Bolden advocates for a little trip to the temple first. Arakal, knowing how this trip might end, protests. After some back and forth, the group decides to visit the marketplace first and see if they can find the alchemical ingredients for Nazina the Herbalist of Hammerdeep and religious books for Rataka. Before entering the marketplace, you are stopped by 2 guards. One of them is a Dragonkin, right? But the other one is a human. You remember this from Rezax, right? Since this is a big port city that continuously trades with the human kingdom of Lormarch, the Dragonkin have ensured that they do have a certain amount of guards that are human who speak Lormarch, right? So when they see you approaching, the human is actually the one speaking. He asks for your paperwork. You show him the paperwork, and you can instantly see, as soon as he opens up and sees the official sigils, seals and everything from the Ecclesium, right? He respectfully bows to you and without a word just steps to the side and shows you to enter the place. You kinda get the idea that this person is most likely from Lormarch, which would mean that he has great respect for members of the Ecclesium. The adventurers ask the human god if he could help them with finding the alchemical ingredients that they need for Nazina the Alchemist. The god explains to them where exactly within the marketplace could they buy such items. They then ask about religious books and texts pertaining to the faith and the One. The god answers that those are not officially sold in the marketplace of Rezax. Furthermore, the god continues that the Draconic priests of Rezax have recently started preaching their faith to the common folk more aggressively, going so far as to claim that the faith in the One is actually an offshoot of their own religion, misunderstood by those that follow it. Priests of the Draconic faith have started proclaiming that the One is actually just one of the many ascended Dragonkin, heroes of past, and as such he does have power and is worthy of worship, right? But still he is only an ascended mortal who was granted his powers by the Draconic gods. As such, the Draconic gods hold supremacy and ultimate power over him. This is what's been happening for the past few months. Go to the temple and you will hear it on your...
we shall. Bolden. Do we go to the temple now?
Alright, you turn around and see that Bolden is already exiting the marketplace.
Oh shit! I'm going with Bolden. We need to talk to the high priest already. We're 15 minutes into the fucking city. We're going to the temple.
As you can see, Garvan is nowhere in your sight already.
Chametisa, be ready.
Jamie, where are you?
I was lost in the market. It's a big place.
Yeah, Jamie didn't go back. Jamie actually went to the marketplace, right? And you found the place that the guard spoke of, right? And if you do have the pouch with you, you can buy all the necessary ingredients for the alchemist.
Who has the pouch of them? I think she gave it to Bolden. So
Yeah, I have it.
yeah.
All right, so you don't, right? So you went
Yeah,
there.
no.
You went there. You saw the place. You turned around. You thought that your companions are with you, and then you suddenly find yourself alone in this massive marketplace, and you're like, what?
Yes.
And then you go back to the entrance, and then you don't find them.
And great. Okay, so I'm gonna go to the guard and I'm gonna ask whether he's seen my companions.
Oh yeah, and he explains that he started talking about the recent religious unrest that was happening within the city, and that your companions marched straight towards the temple after hearing that.
Oh, we're getting kicked out again.
For the information, and I'll be going there.
Olin and Arakald, as you're approaching the base of the temple, suddenly a feeling of melancholy and sadness overcomes you, and you remember this is the same strange feeling that you felt 7 months ago when you were originally in Rezax. You know in your bones that something isn't right. Something's wrong. You can't put your finger to it, but you know that something is wrong here. And I don't mean the fact that the priests are doing what they are, right? I mean in a different nature. You two you two look at each other, right? And you know that you felt this feeling before, and you don't know what it is. You don't know what's happening exactly. You just stand in place, right? And you don't move. You're just looking at each other. You're looking at each other for a few minutes in silence, right? And then the Jamie catches up with you.
Why are you just standing there? We should get in.
Something's wrong.
I mean...
No, not that.
As you two are discussing it, right, Jamatista, you also suddenly get overwhelmed with a feeling of intense sadness and melancholy. Okay. And
join the club.
You three do not understand why, but your eyes suddenly tear up on their own.
I drop on my knees and I start to pray.
I come to my brother, Bolin, and I kneel down beside him. I'm like, okay. I'm with you, brother.
Jamatista suddenly spaces out, and her face expression soon changes from sadness to worry. After a few minutes, she interrupts Bolin and Arakald in their prayers and informs them that a great injustice has occurred in this place long ago. Souls of the righteous are trapped in the ethereal realm and tormented by demonic entities in this very spot where they now stand. When asked by the group to explain how she knows all of this, she simply replies that trust must be earned. She does, however, warn the group that traveling to the ethereal realm and fighting demons there is a very dangerous task not to be undertaken lightly. From the way she speaks of this, it is obvious that this is not her first time attempting to do something like it. The group agrees that they should seek out Kaeldren first before attempting to resolve what they had discovered in this area. On their way to the Highborn area where the Voidbreakers' headquarters are located, the group returns to the marketplace and this time actually buys the alchemical ingredients for the alchemist Nazina. After this is done, the group heads out to the Highborn area, and after some back and forth with the guards, are let inside. As you're walking, you see another strange sight. As you're walking through the gates here, you see some of the Voidbreakers posted in front of a few houses. Just standing in front of houses, right? One is over there, one is like 100 meters to your right, another
the nearest
over there.
What are they doing?
I go to the nearest one.
Okay. It is one of it is one of the previous human members of the Voidbreakers. He sees you, and as he sees you, he raises his hand and says, "Brother Garvin, is it really you?"
Yes, it is, brother.
How have you been?
What are you doing?
What am I doing? You know, brother, just following orders. We're guarding here, this house.
What is it so important about this house?
Well, the residents of this house are family members of the Iron Bulls mercenaries. I don't know if you've heard, but there was a mercenary company here who
I know everything.
Oh my god.
Everything? Have you spoken to Kaeldren?
Not everything. Everything. I know about the Iron Bulls.
You know about the Iron Bulls. Okay. Well, I'm gonna let Kaeldren explain this one.
You better explain yourself now, here.
Why so hostile, brother?
Brother, if you've been through what I've been through, just to get to here, now, I am a bit hostile, I'm sorry. I just wanna know what's happening.
Look,
about the Iron Bulls.
The situation with the Iron Bulls is very complicated. Let's just say Kaeldren's doing what he thinks is best, and just, brother, trust me, just Go talk to him.
Alright.
Right. Just go talk to him. Okay, you know where the Iron Bulls Mercenary Company headquarters were before, so you head over there. You go to the entrance. The entrance is guarded by the Voidbreaker guards. Some of them are old ones. They recognize you and they say their hellos. They let you in. You go inside and you start looking for Kael'ren. The Voidbreakers point you deeper inside, and there one of the Voidbreakers tells you to go inside. Right, he knows who you are. Right, to go inside, and inside you see Kael'ren. Kael'ren is as you enter the room. You see Kael'ren arguing with Isolde. Right. Raise voices.
Anybody has some popcorn?
Raise voices and arguing, and as you enter the door and go in, right, they look at you and they stop. Right? Isolde points at him with his finger and says, "We are not done yet, Kael'ren. We will continue this later." And she storms.
No, I need to stop. Imagine
Mind us. Keep on going. Act like we are not here.
She storms out, right? Kael'ren is there. Kael'ren looks at you. You can see he has a lot of pent-up anger and disappointment on his face, right? And when he sees you, it only gets worse, right?
Hello again.
He looks at you, but then he sees Garvin. His face kind of brightens up a little bit. And looking at Garvin, he says, "Garvin, I'm glad you're safe. How are you?"
I'm still alive. I'm okay. Couldn't be better, actually.
I'm glad at least one of us is. I was expecting you, but not so soon. You are here to follow through Arthur's orders, I guess.
Exactly, Karen.
He has
And
sent
we are here to ask for your help as well.
my help. How can I help you?
I proceed to explain. Apparently, near the temple, there are some souls that are trapped, and they are tormented in immaterial realm, and we need to go and help them. We can access the immaterial realm somehow.
Really? When you say that, he becomes very, very interested. How exactly? Do tell!
I don't know exactly, but we don't even know how many can go through as well. So bring as many as you can so we can test it out.
You literally see question marks above his head. What the hell? He looks at the rest of you and he's like, looks back at you, Garvin, and he says, "Garvin, you know I respect you, but explaining was never your strong suit." And then he looks at the rest of you and he's like, what?
Yeah, he's telling you the truth, actually. Completely right.
I walk up to him, right? Even though I'm shorter, I look at him, right?
I take Bolin and lift him a bit.
And I say this: "Listen, laddie here, Ecclestrium needs your help. Are you in or out?"
The group proceeds to explain to Kael'ren that he is to gather the most capable Voidbreakers at his disposal and follow them into the ethereal realm. The adventurers then requisition some healing potions from Kael'ren and ask for coin. Kael'ren answers that he has no coin. Bolin is not convinced of this.
I can clearly see that you actually managed to excel the position of the Voidbreakers quite finely here in this city.
Oh, did you?
I believe, and as he tries to say something, I just continue, and I believe that you kind of are doing well for yourself, so I imagine you do have some coin on the side that can be spent for the destruction of the demonic forces that stand in the way of the Ecclestrium.
He looks at you and he says, "You would think that, wouldn't you, Bolin?"
Hey, at least 500.
He looks at you and he says, "If I had the coin, I would give you. I do not."
That's fine. Look, we need whatever we can muster. This is now. Let us forget everything that went before, right? I do not want to dwell in the past. There is a great danger within the city walls. It needs to be handled. I trust you because you have proven yourself to be a valuable friend of the Ecclestrium. And I know in your heart you want to destroy this evil as well because it has no room for it on this realm. So we shall go to the immaterial realm, dispose of it, and free the captured souls which it holds.
I am
I see.
interested in how exactly you wish to. How exactly do you mean on transferring to the ethereal realm? It is no small feat. I will personally accompany you, and I will select some of my finest men to go with us.
Karen,
Well,
how much do you know about the demonic powers and the material realm?
He looks at you. He looks at you.
Okay, we're doing insights, yeah?
I am, sorry.
He looks at you, and he hasn't noticed you before, right? Because you were kind of in the back, you know, and he like gives you a little nod. My lady, and you are?
She's Jamatista of Ecclestrium.
Jamatista. Jamatista. Oh, pardon me. That just sounds familiar. Like I heard the name somewhere before. I don't know.
Our newest
You probably didn't.
member.
Well, how would you even heard if she's from Abandon? No way that you...
Exactly.
No.
She's from Abandon. She's from Abandon.
What
Yes.
do you mean?
So,
And
Karen, would you like to tell me about
Wait, what?
you suddenly see Calvin's expression changing into amazement and then shock. And then he looks at
Karen,
you.
would you care for a walk?
What's going on?
What's happening?
I would like to just have a word with Karen to obtain how much knowledge he has about the material realms.
Well,
You can speak
you can speak freely here.
freely here.
We're all friends here. So,
Yes.
And he looks at you, and then he looks at the rest of you, right? He just does this with his hand, right? And he says, "Whatever you," looking at you, Jamatista, right? He says, "Whatever your goal is here, I will not go into it. I will not meddle." And then he looks at you lads and he says, "I hope you know what you're doing." And then he,
what's going on?
you should speak to your companion about that. It's not my place to say. Anyhow, hello, Jamatista. We know certain people. We have fellow acquaintances. Anyways,
So I understand you.
I think I understand now what's happening and how you plan on traversing the material realm. Yes, okay. Interesting. I will definitely accompany you. I will handpick a few of my men. I will give you a few healing potions. That is all I can give you. I'm sorry, I cannot spare any more. And you can see on his face that he is genuine when he says this. And that he is troubled, not by your arrival, but by something else. And he can't. He's just constantly kind of looking sideways, right? Diverting his he looks almost as if a cornered beast, you know. You would expect him to behave completely differently. You've seen members of the Voidbreakers patrolling together with the guards. You've seen them posted guarding certain houses, right? You would expect him to be behaving completely differently than what he is behaving at the moment.
Okay, Karen, are you okay? You seem a bit off.
It is. Thank you for asking, Rakalde. I do have some other issues.
Do you need help?
Yeah, I need to ask something else.
What's the Garvin?
the guards that are guarding the Iron Bulls families?
Why do you care about the Iron Bulls?
Well,
I do. They're friends of mine.
the friends of ours, yes.
They're friends of yours? Really?
Hey,
How come?
they helped us.
Let's say we had similar views about certain place.
About Filzer and everything. I mean, Hammerdeep.
So you met the Iron Bulls then?
Oh
Yes.
yeah, we did.
Yeah.
Interesting.
2 times so far.
Not only met, but spent time with them and learned that they are good people.
Good soldiers.
Good people.
Oh,
Good
they are more than that. I consider the Iron Bulls the best of the Dragonkin and Rezax, to be honest.
Hey, so why are you guarding their families then?
Is somebody trying to harm them?
Well, You must know that the Iron Bulls have been expelled from
Nice.
We talk with them.
Do you know the reasons why?
Yeah.
You do?
Because they knew about Filzar and
We spoke with them near Filzar, so
Yeah.
we send them to Hammerdeep so they do not do any more harm to themselves while trying to rescue their leader.
I know I know the Iron Bulls well. I have worked closely with the Iron Bulls this past 5 months. Their leader has actually saved my life once, and I respect the Iron Bulls immensely. When they were cast out, their family members were endangered. As punishment for their actions, the family members of the Iron Bulls were judged to be accomplices and to know everything that they knew as well. Even though I know that's not the case, but that doesn't matter.
No.
They have lost their status and are now practically considered casteless. I have asked that my men keep them in custody instead of the normal guards for their protection.
So we will be moving those families to Hammerdeep once we set way to it.
I would welcome that, and
No, that is already agreed on. I just stating
I
this as
don't-
a fact.
We're planning on doing that.
I don't think you realize in what specific predicament those family members are. You see, the Iron Bulls company was once a company of 50 strong. Now, granted, not all of them had family members, but there is a total of 35 family members, wives and children, currently held in Rezax. Each one of them is either to be enslaved, or each one of them has to pay 200 gold pieces for their freedom. I need 7,000 gold pieces to free them all. Do you have that coin?
oh, but I have my blade.
No, I abhor
Garvan,
slavery.
you-
I shall not stand for slavery. This needs to be stopped.
Oracle, I completely agree with you, but what, your plan is to go against the entirety of the guards of Rezax? I do not agree with this, but it is their caste system. It's all legal.
And if they supposedly disappear during your watch, Voidbreakers shall be punished.
Exactly. I've kinda asked it as a personal favor to me to post Voidbreakers there to guard them instead of the normal guards.
Well, that
They
could...
became slaves, right? Who would
I am-
have the
I
right
am-
to enslave them?
I am doing whatever is in my power and using all the influence I have within this city to postpone that decision. And trying
that's
to
fine.
gather the gold before that happens, but technically, yes, that is what is supposed to happen. They are to
but
become
who-
slaves.
Who would be able to enslave them then, in case they become slaves? Right? Do they
Since-
sell them? They sell them as slaves, basically. Like
It
for
would
200
depend
gold
on
pieces.
what the highest of the highborn of Rezax decide. They would have the first pick. Some of them might pick some of them as personal slaves. Those that would not be picked would end up on the slave market.
Is there any possibility that-
coin earned from selling the slaves, Rezax as a city would actually be selling those that are not picked by the highborn, and the coin earned from selling them would go to the treasury of the town.
Okay, as I abhor this idea, is there any possibility that Ecclesiam can buy them?
I don't know, our occult. Is there? You are members of the Ecclesiam. I am affiliated, my guild is affiliated with the Ecclesiam, yes. But as far as I know, the Ecclesiam doesn't meddle in Draconic law, for good reason.
Yeah. No, that's all fine. Okay, so we either break them out or pay 7,000.
Breaking them out is going to bring...
Oh no, I know.
No.
I'm just saying.
Well, that's why I don't have coin. Most of the coin that the Voidbreakers earn while doing quests and missions around the town, after I pay the members what is due, I save up for the families. Also, it is my personal mission to get the leader of the Iron Bulls,
Yeah.
Verzar, from the dungeons as well. I respect the Dragonkin greatly.
Can you say the name again?
Verzar. I respect him greatly. He is a very, very good person. And I hate to see him rot in the dungeons of Rezax. He does not deserve this fate. As you're talking, right? through the door that you entered, a female elf, very good-looking female elf, enters, and bringing up a plate with food and everything, right? And she looks at you, she looks at Kaelrin, right? You all turn around. You haven't seen this person before. And Kaelrin just dismisses her, right? And she goes back and closes the door.
What?
And then he does this. Yeah, about that.
Yeah, who is that? So Isolde isn't enough.
And he looks at you, Garvin, and he says, Really? You two? Et tu, Garvin. Et tu.
What did you do?
And then he looks at you. You dare judge me?
No, I'm fine. I mean, as a paladin, I can simply share. It's your life. You do what you.
You've heard of the Sea Sirens brothel within the town of Rezax, haven't you?
Yes. Orlos wanted to go there, but we never got.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Orlos.
Thank the one.
Anyways, you know that the owner of the brothel,
No.
Taznar, and he says that name with disgust, right? He has enslaved elves in there.
What?
Yes, elves brought from as captives from the Azrian War. Elves belonging to various Sylvan elven tribes who happen to be fighting on the wrong side.
Who's bringing them?
The Dragonkin that are fighting on the side of the Ecclesian.
Are bringing elves back as slaves?
Yes, the ones that they defeat in combat. It would seem that the Ecclesium has been very lenient with the Dragonkin recently, due to the fact that it doesn't really have much members left to fight its wars.
I shall have words with Bartrand about this.
I'm not really sure that Barthran has much say in it, to be honest. He shares his disgust of the matter with me. Anyways, I've been trying to free the slaves. I've so far managed to buy off freedom for the two of the youngest in the brothel. It has cost me dearly, and the cunt, the owner, realizes why I want to do this and has been increasing the prices.
I think it's time that I talk to the owner.
And what are you exactly going to do, Oracle? What? He is buddies with all the right people. What are you going to do?
Smite the slavery out of his fucking mind.
Oh yeah, and then when you
back to prison.
And then when you hark him and go back to the dungeons, what are you going to do then? You've learned nothing since the past 7 months.
I'm sorry, slavery is something I abhor dearly.
Oracle, I abhor slavery as well, but unlike you, I'm trying to do whatever is possible to actually help those poor women. When you end up in the dungeons, you can't really help anybody now, can you? You know, it's easy. It's easy to be rash, and it's easy to blame everybody else for your problems when you get into them, right? Because they didn't share, because you think they don't share your same world views and whatever, right? It's easy, yeah, it's easy. Not be responsible for your actions. It's much harder to try to do the right thing within the boundaries of law. The adventurers pause a little bit after those words. After some time, Garvin tells Kaelrin about the Nosmer warriors they faced on their way to Rezax. After hearing this, Kaelrin shows the adventurers parchments of Dragonkin missing from the outskirts of Rezax, mostly farmers. The adventurers agree that the Nosmer are the most likely culprits behind these disappearances. They also agree to take the equipment they scavenged from the defeated Nosmer to the Dragonkin authorities in an effort to claim a part of the reward offered for information about the disappearances. But before they head out, Gimatista asks Kaelrin if they can speak in private. Kaelrin agrees, and the rest of the group leaves them. Yet, Bolin and Garvin stay by the door and eavesdrop on the conversation. Only Oracle respects Gematista's privacy. What do you seek here, Gematista, of Abandon?
Well, I'm here on the business of Ecclesium. I'm here to help out.
Oh, is that so? Okay. I'm not gonna get into any of that. Your business is your own. You see that he respects you a lot, almost as if he understands the power that you wield and is not gonna step out of line.
Karen, I could see your face, and it makes me wonder how much do you know of my person?
Oh, I just know what Grandmaster Christoph, who is currently in the Human Kingdom of Mortal, told me. And he told me a great deal of things. You know, we still talk from time to time. We send letters. You know, it does take a lot of time for the letters from here to reach Mortal and back, but 7 months is a lot of time.
It is a lot of time.
Oh, yes, it is. He's evasive.
So about this demonic power.
Which one are we talking? We're talking about the one in Rezax, or are we talking about the one that was near Niza? Gimatista is taken aback by these words and outright shocked when Keldron, later in their conversation, names her banner by its true name, the Favor of Raguel. Keldron obviously knows much more than Gimatista expected. Yet during their conversation, she realizes that Keldron has not spoken about this to anyone and intends to keep his knowledge a secret, especially now that she is under the protection of the Ecclestrium. Gimatista then agrees with Keldron that, due to the sensitive nature of the artifact banner that she carries and her troubled past, only Keldron will accompany the group into the immaterial realm. With that, Gimatista leaves the room, only to find Garvin and Bolan eavesdropping. Disappointed in them, she heads downstairs and waits for Keldron. Near the Voidbreaker training grounds, the party splits. Arakald and Garvan, accompanied by Keldron, head out to the keep of Rezax to claim the reward for finding out the reason behind the recent Dragonkin disappearances. Gimatista and Bolan each go their own separate ways. Gimatista feels betrayed, while Bolan is trying to process everything he heard while eavesdropping. Garvan, Arakald and Keldron had some problems with the Dragonkin authorities while trying to claim the reward, but they were successful in the end. They did, however, have to leave all the looted Nosmer equipment with the guards. Upon heading back, the three of them start discussing how to best use the coin that they got from the nobility.
Keldron, you keep the money and you purchase some others people that needs to be saved.
Oh, Arakald, while I appreciate the sentiment, I would rather you discuss this with the rest of your companions. I know that Bolan, for instance, still resents me for the money I had to spend on for his freedom in the dungeons, without realizing that
Bolan understands.
petty coin was not enough to secure your freedom. I had to do a lot more to secure your freedom.
I understand, but currently this money will help save.
Yeah, again, let it not be said that Keldron was the one who took coin from the Ecclestrium. Discuss it with Bolan. You go back. All of you return.
While we are going back, I tell to Keldron, well, Bolan can be an ass. He is really, deep down, he is really, really good person.
I will not question Bolan's motives or who he is as a person. I know that he played a pivotal part in securing Filzar and turning it into what it is now, and securing the freedom of all the castless that were being hunted. For that, he has my respect. What I do know is that he was brought up as a knight of the Ecclesium, and that's all I'm gonna say. For somebody who has the title of the Humble, he is anything but.
You know, he is a dwarf. For dwarf, that's kind of humble.
Listen, but I do agree with certain things, but I will say this: Bolan is trying, and Bolan is doing his best to change what he was before.
As I said, I will not go into any of that. Let it not be said that Keldron was the one who judged poorly members, especially knights of the Ecclestrium. You can see that there is something, right? There is something in the background, you know? Why he's constantly saying this, right? There is something, but you don't know what.
Kevin, I don't know what beef you had with Ecclestrium before, but not all of us are like...
Oh, beef! Oh, no. The one forbids me ever having a beef with the Ecclesium, especially its noble knights. Oh no, the Voidbreakers are nothing if not loyal servants and allies of the Ecclesium.
Okay, Kelleran, one day we should talk about this, and I'm really interested in hearing what the hell happened.
No,
I'm
absolutely nothing. You are sure that something happened.
Obviously something happened.
All of you go back, and Kelleran turns to Bolan and says, everything is ready, you have your coin.
Bolan.
Arakald and Garvan have managed to persuade the nobility. They have rewarded you for at least partially completing this request of theirs. As far as I'm concerned, I'm ready to accompany you to deal with this otherworldly problem.
And one more thing, Bolan.
You should give Cowden the money so he can help the families.
His mission that he's doing. Do you agree with it?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Kelleran looks at that and he's taken aback a little bit, right? He was expecting a totally different answer.
While I'm giving him the pouch, I'm looking at Kelleran like, I told you so.
Kelleran takes the money, he says thank you. Since it is technically your money, would you prefer if I use it to buy the freedom of the enslaved elves or the enslaved relatives of...
The kids need take priority.
Okay. After discussing who to free first, the group prepares for their traversal on the immaterial realm. They return back to the temple. Using the power of her artifact banner, Jamatista transports herself, as well as Bolan, Garvan, and Arakald. Kelleran, on the other hand, is not with them. The place itself looks eerie. The colors are all washed, as you can see. As I said before, you instantly feel a presence assaulting your minds, which resulted in the instant loss of sanity. Every single one of you hears a dark voice within their own heads, except Jamatista. But the voices that you hear are heard individually by every single one of you. So, who wants to go first? Garvan, Bolan, and Arakald are, in an instant, mentally assaulted with nightmarish visions. Their minds clouded by demonic whispers, intent on sapping their sanity and crushing their souls. Yet, when they were put to the test, all three of them resisted the demonic influence. With their minds and souls intact, they regained their composure. Instead of weakening them, this mental assault only served to increase their fury and anger. Okay, Jamie, you see, like a second or two after you've teleported into the material realm, that your companions all kind of just stopped, and their vision was suddenly kind of foggy, right? And you were worried. What is happening? This isn't okay. You didn't feel anything, right? You felt normal. But after about 2-3 seconds, all of them kind of just snapped out of it quickly and regained their composure. And you all look at each other. All of you have this look in your eyes like, this is where you're supposed to be. You are clearly meant to help these poor souls in resolving whatever is tormenting them. You are strong, and you will prevail in this challenge. Additionally, you see like a little tear coming down Garvan's eye.
Time for the wrath of the one to be unleashed upon you.
You are not prepared!
The adventurers group up and ready their weapons. They can almost sense invisible creatures move around them, but without being able to see them, for now, they opt for a more defensive approach. This is going to be interesting. Arakald, you are going to give me 1, 2, 3, 6 mental saves, DC 8. Bolan, you are going to give me a mental save and a mental contest. Jamie, you are going to give me a mental save and a mental contest. Garvan, you are going to give me 2 mental contests.
Okay.
Here we go. We're gonna do Oracle first.
So, okay.
6 mental saves.
6
DC
mental.
8.
Jesus Christ.
Okay. I just want to... Yeah, I want to see something. Okay. I can spend my resource points to reroll mental saves.
Yeah,
okay.
I know. Okay, that's fine.
Need to remind myself. Okay. 6 of them.
Yes.
Jeez. DC 8. My
Yes.
god.
Miraculously, Oracle succeeds all mental saves.
The one protect!
Bolin fares a bit worse than Oracle. He succeeds the mental contest, but he fails the mental save. Felt it trying to literally take possession of your body. This one was attacking you, right? But you managed to resist that attempt. Jamatista and Garvin both completely resist the demonic mental attacks targeted at each of them. With the demons now revealing themselves, the adventurers try to launch a counterattack.
I'm gonna stay where I am.
Okay, Bolin.
Stay where I am.
Oracle.
Staying where I am.
Jamie.
I'm gonna stay where I am.
Arcface.
Eldritch Blast on this one, yeah.
Bolin.
That was judgment. On the guy who was trying to take the possession of me. And
Any overcharges?
Oh yeah, full ultimate overcharge.
Well, then you can target these two, right?
Yes, technically I can, so them too, yeah.
Okay, quick action.
Then I'm gonna assume defensive stance then.
Okay, Oracle.
Haven't judgment on the one I'm looking at, and I'm going to overcharge it so it deals additional D2 wounds.
Okay, Jamie.
I'm gonna, as an action, I'm gonna use the banner.
Okay, you, as an action, you place the banner into the ground, hoping to expand its energy to engulf you, but nothing happens.
Okay.
You realize that the banner's power is currently drained, as it was used to transfer you to the immaterial realm.
Yes.
Quick action?
So, quick action is gonna be Arcane Bolt. The one in front of me, yes, this one.
Garvin's spell is enough to instantly kill the demonic spirit that he is facing. One down. You kill yours with your spell, and it suddenly dissolves into thin air and leaves like a dusty substance behind itself. Bolin successfully invokes his spell and kills 2 of the demonic spirits with his Heaven's Judgment spell. Bolt of lightning manifesting out of thin air smashes into the ground. The 2 spirits again dissolve and leave a dust-like substance behind themselves. Arakel also succeeds invoking another Heaven's Judgment spell and kills his target. Jamatista critically hits her target with her Arcane Bolt. Because Garvin casted an offensively augmenting spell earlier on, her Arcane Bolt deals an additional wound and is just enough to kill her target as well. So far so good. Yet, moments later, the adventurers hear the clanging of metal getting louder. Suddenly, Reziel's heavily armored lesser demons manifest next to them and start smashing at them with their maces and shields. The onslaught brought by the Reziel in combination with the mental attacks by the demonic spirits that are still standing proves to be problematic. Yet, some of the adventurers hold their ground. Arakel suffers multiple blows from the Reziel, but is saved by his armor. Unfazed, he parries one of the attacks that he received, and with a swift counterattack and by using his smite, he instantly kills one of the Reziel that attacked him. The power of the impact was so strong that even though you didn't perfectly hit him, right, it was still enough because of smite to slash him literally through the armor, right? And just kill him.
And when I do that, I look at the others too. You're next. You shall be judged.
Bolin is not as lucky. He gets smashed into the ground by a shield bash from one of the Reziel attacking him, and then gets knocked unconscious by the next blow that hits him in the helmet. Multiple other Reziel are about to finish Bolin off. It is not looking good for the one's favorite dwarf.
Yeah, I'm down.
Okay, you drop down.
Oh my
god. Okay, you are now about to receive 3 attacks.
That's dead.
From this one and 2 from this one. Does anybody else have any reactions?
I have, but I use mine.
So you don't?
I could heal, yeah.
Does anybody else have reactions?
Yeah, I have a reaction.
If you would please.
Curative word then.
Jamatista's curative word saves Bolin from certain death, but as she is distracted with healing him, she is attacked by the Rezial in front of her. While she does manage to avoid the Rezial's shield bash attempt, the Rezial critically hits her with his mace. As he tries to shield bash you right into and prone you potentially, you go to the side, but almost as if he was expecting this, he catches you with the second blow and smashes you directly into the face, dealing you 3 wounds.
Perfect amount.
Would you have 3 HP?
Yes.
While all of this is happening, Garvin is being mentally assaulted by demonic spirits. Although he manages to resist the first spirit, he fails to resist the second one.
Okay, I guess I'm dead.
No. You start losing control over your body.
Ah, fucking amazing. Now we have one more enemy here.
And you turn towards Aracal.
Hi.
But since this fella didn't know what was happening, right, he still does 2 attacks against you.
I hope he kills me.
Oh my god.
While Garvin started turning towards Aracal, the Rezial next to him, unaware that Garvin was now under the influence of the demonic spirits, strikes at him. His blows are devastating, and Garvin falls down to the ground, bleeding and dying.
No,
Oh my god!
Demons, my friend. Demons.
Yep.
Okay, that is
Their
their turn done.
Okay.
Sir Arkald, what you're doing?
Aracal.
I have 3 healing potions!
Aracal faces impossible odds, but does not falter. Deciding that healing his allies takes precedence to attacking his enemies, he uses a healing potion to heal Bolin and casts his Healer's Hand spell to heal Jamatista. As Bolin regains consciousness, he immediately casts Heaven's Judgment on the 3 Rezial in front of Aracal. Unfortunately, he fails to invoke his spell, and nothing happens. Doubt in his own abilities starts gripping his heart. Jamatista manages to cast Heaven's Judgment successfully and deals a tremendous amount of damage with it to the 2 Rezial in front of her. Unfortunately, the 2 Rezial in front of her are not ordinary brutes, but overseers, Rezial leaders. Although barely standing after suffering Jamatista's spell, they are still, in fact, standing. They look menacingly at Jamatista, ready to finish her off. Garvin bleeds on the floor, his life slowly fading away. That is your turn. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy.
Listen, if I survive, I'm getting you up, Hadrian, so...
You're not gonna survive, sorry.
Let's see.
Okay, these 3, no longer shield bashing, just attacking with their maces. Aracal. This one is attacking Aracal with 2 attacks that require a mental save. These 2 are attacking Bolin, and these 2 are just gonna reposition themselves a little bit right here and are gonna attack Jen. Let's go. Aracal suffers mental attacks from the demonic spirits and a barrage of physical attacks from the 3 Rezial in front of him. Miraculously, he resists the mental attacks, and his armor once again saves him from the suffered hits. Aracal still stands. Your armor saves you from the blows, but you can feel it being damaged and cracking under the sheer of the blows. Your armor parts, your legs, and your chest lose 1 hit point. Aracal proceeds to parry one of the attacks that he received from the Rezial in front of him. Suddenly, he feels a benevolent otherworldly presence within him, which gives him strength to go beyond his physical limitations. You feel the same power as you felt when the vision's finished. Gain advantage on the attack. Without you wanting it, the attack becomes a smite.
Let's go.
gotta give you benefits for succeeding the saves.
Crit! It's a crit!
He did. He did.
It's 2 plus 3, 5.
You chop off his head clean.
And I yell, "The one shall smite all of you!"
Righteous fury fills your body. You think of the past few hours that have been happening. You respecting Jamatista's wishes. You know, going through the vision itself, resisting the demonic influence and corruptive effects. And the voice that you heard, the final words that you heard ring again through your head. And no harm shall come to you.
Against all the evil that hell can conjure, we will send unto them only you. Rip and tear until it is done.
And I shall keep on smiting.
Bolin is once again attacked by the two Rezial next to him. As he is lying on the floor, unable to properly defend himself against their attacks, the Rezial have advantage. They exploit this situation to the fullest. Bolin suffers another critical hit. Together with the normal hits he receives, he is once again unconscious and dying. Jamie!
Yeah, the one who brought us here for fun.
Thank you.
Like Bolin, Jamatista suffers too many hits and goes unconscious on the brink of death. Once again, Arakel remains the last person standing. And once again, he refuses to budge and through a plethora of suffered hits, decides to repeat what he did just moments ago.
I have exactly enough resource points to do exactly what I did before. To get those two back and please have a judgment.
Yeah, and hope that they succeed.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm doing it.
Because if you don't get them up and if they fail the death save, they're dead.
I'm on
I'm
one
not-
resource
I have 2 death saves more, I'm fine.
Aracult, the same again, potion into Bolin and 1 hit point on Jamie, or?
Yep.
Despite the chaos of combat, Aracult manages to use another healing potion on Bolin and heal Jamatista with his Healer's Hand spell. Jamatista and Bolin regain consciousness in an instant. Jamatista casts Heaven's Judgment in a way to affect the two Rezial around her. Unfortunately, she has to affect herself with it as well. Bolin fully overcharges his Heaven's Judgment and affects the last demonic spirit still standing and the Rezial closest to it. Finally, Bolin successfully casts his spell as well and destroys his targets. The following turn, a protective bluish barrier is mysteriously manifested around Bolin, protecting him from the Rezial attacks. The Rezial are stumped by this and take a step back. Arakel uses this opportunity to finish off the remaining Rezial. Together with Bolin, they then heal Jamatista and Garvin. Bruised but not beaten, the group huddles together, unsure of what is about to happen next. Suddenly, next to you, spirits of dwarves manifest around you. There are 3 of them. They speak to you at the same time. When they speak, the words do not come out of their spectral mouths. You actually hear them within yourselves. Hail to you, champions. We are the faithful of the One, the descendants of those that refused to worship dragons as gods. Ages ago, we ministered the words of the One to the righteous in this holy place, observing the traditions of our heroic ancestors. Yet, a great calamity occurred and separated us from our brothers. We were close to the center of this calamity, and it brought ruin upon us all, sundering the very land that you stand on from the rest of the great continent of Arterius. We failed to reach the mainland again. Too much of us died from the calamity. Yet, even in death, we still served the One. The holy place that stands before you housed great relics and angelical artifacts. It was our sacred duty to ensure its safekeeping, and Uriel, the Archangel of Death, allowed us to stay. Centuries later, the dragons returned to this place. We contacted them and forbade them from entering this holy place. With foul magics, they destroyed our sacred wards and pillaged our holy artifacts. They sought to banish us as well, but even the foulest of magics must yield to the will of the righteous. Angry, they invoked ancient and dark rituals. They brought upon us dark spirits, demons, to torment us and limit our ability to interact with the material realm. Now, thanks to you, our torment finally ends. Accept the blessings of the One as our thanks. The spirits speak a few prayers and you suddenly feel more energized. All of you gain 3 experience points. The spirits continue. Alas, we are unable to leave until the sacrilege of this holy place continues. Its halls ring out with dragon worship, bringing great shame and sorrow to us. As they're speaking these words, you can sense anger in them. We implore your champions, put an end to this heresy, and restore the holiness of this once sacred temple dedicated to the one true God. They look at you eagerly, waiting for a response.
His will be done.
We accept, and we shall bring glory to his name.
You have now banished the demons, and they shall no longer torment us. With time, our ability to interact with the material realm shall strengthen. But alas, it will never be strong enough. We need you to purge this holy place.
It shall be.
We thank you, champions, once again for saving us from our torment and for pledging yourselves to this quest. We shall pray for your success. When the time comes, we shall do everything in our power to help you. Blessings of the one true God upon ye. With those words, the banner suddenly starts glowing, and you look at it, and you, for a split second, you see it in its full glory, engulfed in blue flames, the clothing now changing into almost ethereal bluish light, golden glowing symbols and otherworldly runes taking place where the once faded symbol of the one was during the material realm. You look at it in awe, right? And as you see its full glory, you feel otherworldly protection emanating from it. You blink, and then as you open your eyes again, you are back on the material realm next to Kelran. As you're back on the material realm, you suddenly feel your body's exhausted, right? And Arakal, you specifically, although you didn't receive any wounds, right? Your armor protected you, but you have blunt force trauma, right?
Okay, I'm just falling down like on Kelran, like.
You are exhausted. An urge to storm into the temple that was once dedicated to the One and purge the heretics within it rises within the adventurers. Kelran barely manages to persuade them not to do anything rash. Happy that they helped the dwarven spirits, the adventurers eventually leave the temple, but not before Bolin carves a small symbol of the One within a part of the temple's base. After this, the adventurers return back to the Voidbreakers' headquarters. Kelran was asking you what was going on, what was happening.
I would say I would like to tell him that. Listen, Daddy. I know. I haven't left a great first impression on you, and I would like to apologize for that, and I would like to commend you on your willingness to go with us into this almost hell we went into, Now, and then I explain, what was happening right there. with the spirits, the dwarves, everything, and the relics, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I say like, so as we know, you know, we are on the actually now walking on the ancestral dwarven grounds, you know. And then the story about reclaiming the temple, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so look, I know that you are a capable man, you know. So any help you can give us in locating the lost and stolen relics will forever be remembered by the Ecclestrium, as you know. I think we should all join efforts into try and locating them.
First off, I'm sorry that I couldn't join you. I really wish I could have seen the ethereal realm and be more of an assistance during the fight.
Well, your 2 healing potions definitely helped.
As for the relics, I do not know of any stolen relics, but I am not.
It's gonna be a secret.
Yes, I'm not. I mean, that's not something that the Dragonkin would make public. After all, it is them who claimed that there was nothing on this island a century ago when they landed on it, and that everything built here was built by their own hands, which obviously it hasn't. If I hear of anything during my travels and during my missions here, I will share it with you, of course.
Okay, one thing I wanted to ask you, what of the aspirants, the Voidbreakers, were called specifically for dealing with them?
You say that, right? And he's like, oh, don't even get me started. The High Council has paid in advance coin to deal with the aspirant problem. I have unfortunately spent some of that coin already in trying to procure the freedom of the Elven slaves, and unfortunately we are no closer to reaching their hideout. I'm starting to think that illusionary spells, maybe even artifacts, are involved. I think they're capable of it. I mean, we can all agree that 7 months ago when we originally came here, that storm was clearly magical in nature. So if they can conjure up something like that, I'm pretty sure they can somehow
obscure their
hideouts and make us unable to find it. The High Council of Rezax is, to put it mildly, becoming very impatient with the Voidbreakers, and that is another problem that I have to deal with on a daily basis. You can see now that
many problems.
Yeah, you now kind of realize, right, that you left 7 months ago, right? And he did, when he gave the paper with Essen's name to Garvin and instructions how to reach it, he did all he could in that at that point to improve your chances of survival. But you left, and he was left with his own devices, with a lot of the Voidbreakers being killed in the storm, right? With zero support from the Ecclestrium. And he had to make do.
You know, laddie, you always have home in Hammerdeep.
Bolin, Bartran has sent word. I know that the Voidbreakers are to follow you back to Hammerdeep, and
no, not just for that. I mean, generally, you know, if you don't want to deal with Rezax, you know.
Well, yes, we could pack up and leave, right? But what about the Iron Bull's relatives? What about
after all of those.
Yes, definitely. After all of that is
here, you know.
Of course, I have received orders from the Ecclestrium that I have to pack up my stuff and go to Hammerdeep. I shall do so as soon as I am able. You understand why?
Oh no, your reasons are valid, boy. I say nothing about that. More thing that can be added on the list is, you know, purification of the heretics, but I mean, you know what I mean, laddie?
I know what you mean, but I think that's gonna have to wait until the end of the Asrian War.
One priest, more or less.
I'd say.
Better than more.
As far as I understand you, lad, stealth is not really an option with you, is it?
No. Stealth, what is that?
Exactly. I think you deserve a rest. Anyhow, go and rest.
Where?
And I gotta go speak with Isolde. And he turns around and leaves.
Oh, good luck. Good luck. I think you're going to be in much battle as we did right about now.
I think you should. I think he would rather speak with Bolan.
Do you need a healing potion?
Naked, you're gonna need it.
He just goes, right? He just goes. He knows you're messing, but he has enough of his plate, right? And he's really not in the mood.
The adventurers go to bed, exhausted by their ordeal in the immaterial realm. Their rest is cut short, however, when they are woken by shouting outside. They rise up from their makeshift beds and go out, only to find Verbat and Kalran talking. Verbat shouts as he explains to Kalran that he has found the location of the shiny. During his awkward explanation, it becomes obvious that Verbat has unknowingly found out the headquarters of the Nosma soldiers on the island, and that the location is hidden with illusionary magic. As Kalran is trying to calm Verbat down, the adventurers notice that the ground beneath them is starting to shake.
And in the distance, in the direction of Hammerdeep, you see a pillar of green light.
What?
Coming from the ground and going up into the sky.
What? Roll supernatural?
Yeah.
Are they trying to open the gate?
Yeah, no, you're not sure what is happening. Suddenly an eerie feeling overcomes you. Jamie, you hear a voice inside your head. You know whose voice it is. You can't.
I know. I know.
You can't even think about it. You're gonna lose it.
I cannot believe what is happening again.
And with that, we shall end the session.
No, the questions.
I hope that our viewers have had as much fun as us. Pretty intense combat encounter. Not gonna lie, I thought it's gonna be a TPK a few times, right? But overall, as Nano says it, every session that you finish alive in Rots is a good session. We hope to see you soon. Godspeed, adventurers.